I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Allegron's won the Brisbane Cup, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow. Barraquil, Benny Allen hasn't moved.
Broadside him, bobbed, won the Golden Rose.
Pride of Jenny, trying to find the reserves at the 100. She's 3 in front of Mr. Brightside. It's all too late. Pride of Jenny has run them into the night. Switzerland a big winner by 2.5 Bellatrix Star.
He's down, Jolly Star. She is a star in the making. Jolly Star bolts in.
It's all Isthmus. She's very smart and fast.
Mate, it's what I'm calling the ultimate grand final for Moonee Valley this weekend.
Yeah, it really is the ultimate grand final. Cox Plate Day, the last at Moonee Valley in its current condition. It's, I can't wait. It's
They put it as the last race of the day.
I know. I saw that.
I love it.
I love it because I just thought, well, we're not going to end it on a benchmark 78 night.
No Lady Jones this year.
Yeah, no Lady Jones this year, and also we're not going to put like a benchmark 100 and have the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Jimmy the Bear roaming around.
Young Werter.
Young Werter.
Not happening.
Young Werter is a hybrid. Do you know why he's a hybrid? Because he's a benchmark 100 horse, but he'll pop up at 50 to 1
I
in
know.
a Turnbull Stakes.
I know. I know he will.
He's a hybrid.
Yeah.
He's a funny horse.
He is a funny horse. Initial thoughts. We'll get into a deep dive of the Cox Plate eventually. But what were your thoughts on the field? Final field, 9 runners.
Oh, look, I would have liked to have seen a few more. What's the max capacity? 14?
12 or 14, yeah.
Would have liked to have seen a few more, but I think ultimately across the board it's pretty high quality, pretty even bunch that have been, racing each other a lot throughout the spring. No Sir Delius, which is probably the biggest bummer. But, it is what it is.
Devo. I think if he was there, it's probably going to be a 6-horse field. So you get a few more runners because I think the writing was on the wall. It's like, so you're telling me I have to beat Via Sistina, Sir Delius, and Antino to win this Cox Plate? Fuck that. You're not getting like infantryman speed hump.
With respect.
And I doubt you get Globe as well. Who's under injury cloud as well.
He is, which could completely change the complexion of the race. So, yeah, fascinating stuff. A bit to dissect with the barrier draws too, but I'm really looking forward to it. And the undercard's great. Keen to get stuck in, and then we'll be playing around the grounds this weekend, obviously. But but Sydney's looking all right as well.
Yeah, I've installed a new form student, a random number generator, who might actually provide a few more winners than myself in Sydney.
Don't sell yourself short. Unless the random number generator is called ChatGPT, because then potentially there could be some logic behind those random numbers. Yeah,
all knowing. I reckon we actually get into Sydney first.
Yeah, let's do that, and we can have our ultimate grand final.
Yeah,
with Cox Plate as well.
Yeah. Before we get into any analysis, though, tipping competition is in the show notes right now. www.onthedriftpodcast.com. Sign up if you haven't already for your chance to win a $500 gift card of your choosing. All you got to do is, when you receive the tipping email, supply your tips for the races in Sydney and at Moonee Valley for Saturday. So 20 in total. You get double points if you tip it at double figure odds as per the fixed odds with the good people at Ned's. You don't get double points for second and third. Anything I missed?
No, that's everything, mate. Keep an eye out if you have signed up for the tipping comp for the first email notification Friday, sort of mid-morning Queensland time. Get your tips in, obviously, as soon as you can, but if you want to wait until the scratchings are done Saturday morning, that's fine too, because a reminder email will go out Saturday morning before the first race of the day. Yeah. Don't know if it's at Randwick or at Moonee Valley this weekend. Probably Moonee Valley, but
well, as long as the tips are in before the first.
Yeah.
Because
there was some submissions after the first race last week, and they conveniently picked the winner in the first race in both Sydney and Melbourne. And I tell you what, I saw that and I was like, delete. Because we know exactly when you submit your tips. Yeah. Don't cheat, bruh.
Don't cheat, bruh. Don't do it. And not every race in Sydney is run 4 minutes late like the Everest. You know what I mean?
No. They're just like, we want every single cent of that Hong Kong money within reason.
Millions, 99 million.
Yeah. Millions of dollars. The biggest pot I've ever seen, actually. A great pot. Biggest pot Australia has ever had. Who's that guy? What was his name? Kevin Rudd. Hates horse racing. I hate him. I hate him a lot, actually. Stupid.
Okay. And then we also have a racing pot this weekend with a good bit of people at Ned's. Sign into your Ned's app. Follow the prompts. Join the racing group. We will be in there as well. $50 buy-in. If last year's anything to go by, well, we tipped the card last year, so hopefully we rediscover some of that form.
No pressure, though.
No pressure. All right, let's get to Randwick. What is it? We are... Rail is in the 7-metre position from the 1,600 metres to the winning post, 5 metres the remainder. So no disadvantage to be on speed, I would have thought. Currently rated a soft 5, but it is getting hot down in Sydney this week, so I reckon it'll be a good 4. An improving track, I would say, as well. So race 5, the Brian Crowley Stakes. Oh, my God. We didn't even talk about So You Think. Oh, Valet.
Oh, my God. That's just washed some fresh grief all over me.
Thought you were a bit flat walking in here.
Yeah, I was. Oh, mate, he... Just when I started paying attention to horse racing was when So You Think was going around and obviously Black Caviar as well, like sort of soon after. Mate, he was, with respect to every other horse that has ever existed, the best looking horse I've ever seen. Valet. 2-time So You Think. 2-time Cox Plate champion. And the most impressive thing about this horse, 5 Group 1s here. Then he went to the Northern Hemisphere and kicked some ass up there. 5 Group 1s.
Mate, I was listening to Jared Waitley, who if he could run away and marry the Cox Plate, I think he could, because he's just in love with that race, right? He was saying that he's the biggest what if of all time with the Cox Plate because he reckons he would have won 4 in a row. Because when he went to the Northern Hemisphere, because he got ripped off Bart, it took him a while. Took the trainer a while to actually figure him out. Yeah, as well.
Aidan O'Brien.
Yeah. So I think, he was an absolute superstar and ran 3rd in Melbourne Cup. Didn't stay. Still ran 3rd in 2010 as well. Won it as a 3-year-old at his 5th start.
Cox Plate.
Yeah. After basically having 0 form going in. Superstar.
Yeah. Bart Cummings said he was literally perfection on 4 legs, best horse ever trained.
Yeah, right.
And Bart Cummings trained a few good ones. Got a feel for all the connections. Obviously, Coolmore. They've also had Wooton Bassett pass just a few weeks ago, so that's a pretty significant hit to their stallion ranks. And anyone who had anything to do with So You Think, obviously, in our thoughts, definitely one of my favourites. He's just... I know for a fact if we were doing the podcast back then... I would have just been frothing him at the mouth, like frothing in the mouth for him.
Would have been problematic because we were 16.
It would have been.
Yeah, I think So You Think's a good bet this year.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen the Salmonator on YouTube before? He's a young fella. I reckon he was doing it when he was 12, giving out tips. I'm like, I think he's only 16 now. Have a look at him. He comes up in my feed on YouTube sometimes. I'm like, respect to you, bruh, having a crack.
Yeah. But yeah, So You Think, one of the greats. And low-key, love those silks too. Like the Bart silks.
Great silks.
They're fantastic. Still see them go around every now and then. They're the best.
Great silks.
Love them. Viewed, winning them in a Melbourne Cup, 40-1. The horse that made me fall in love with horse racing was Mackay Bediva.
Yeah.
Just Greg Miles calling her in Melbourne Cups, perfection.
So good, man.
So good. Her Cox Plate was brilliant too. Yeah, 10 wide on the turn. Bossy just going like, you know what, bruh? You're better than everyone.
She was a superstar.
Yeah. All right, Valet, So You Think, one of our favourites. the Brian Crowley onto bigger and better things, apparently. 1,200 metres listed for the 3-year-olds at set weights and penalties. Who's your favourite here? Your favourite is Miss Freelove for Peter Snowden. He's in a bit of form at the moment, I would have thought.
He is.
TC on soft draw, should probably find a forward position here as well. The horse I have a bit of respect for, and back in grade suits him as well, is Grand Eagle with Nash on. His racing pattern is dog shit though.
It is.
With the rail where it is, potentially letting this one go through to keeper. Yeah, it's a bit of a toughie.
It is a tough race. I liked, to a degree, number 5, Young Mr. Grace. Seems to have had basically way too much on its opposition in its first 2 starts to date, but that's Hawkesbury form for Brad Widdop coming to Royal Randwick. But it looks a pretty thin race. So from gate 1, Dylan Gibbers can get the son of Farn, Anders, God, into a strong position. So yeah, but no firm opinion on this race. Good luck to whoever's got this race on the weekend. I think it might be me.
The Craven Plate. The Craven Plate is a 1,800 metre contest, Group 3 at weight for age level. No Sir Delius here, which I'm shocked by. Not really. Linda Mann, career best, I would have thought. He's been absolutely super.
Yeah, I think he's going to be incredibly hard to beat again, particularly with Hot Nash on.
He had a bit of a... He just went down to Melbourne and was like, see you later. Didn't he?
Yeah, do you know what? He flipped the bird to Sydney. Do you know why? Because he didn't have a ride on the Everest. So he's like, well, you know what? Fuck you guys. Yeah. I'm going to go ride down in Melbourne. Yeah. I'm too hot for this.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll cash a check with Private Eye. I'll cash a check earlier on in the day with Spicy Lou.
Yeah.
And his best rides recently, Nash, have been front-running rides. And he'll get the same thing with Lindemann. He's going to be incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah. And the way that this track is going to play, like, favourite bashing.
This is a 100 kilometre an hour medium pace ball onto your front pad. And just
see you, bruh. Do not bowl there.
No.
There could be, if you're playing each way, Mason Louis at an each way price. He was very good.
I thought, in
the Hill Stakes.
He was. I thought Mason. He got galloped on as well. I thought Mason Louis was the danger, and he's $9.50. I'd rather take that about him in comparison to Kovalika and Militarize. Please.
Yeah. So Mason Louis, I think, is the each way play there. The Cadnarks Jewelers Calendar Presnell, 1,600 metres, Group 2 for the 3-year-olds at set weights. I don't know really where to look here. Your favourite's Rivellino at 280, which to me is troubling. I don't think he's going any good.
You can take him on. He's not going that good. Do you know what? This is a classic. I saw this and I wanted to talk to you about it. This is a classic example of all because a horse has been running in better quality races and they're coming back down in grade doesn't mean diddly squat.
No, not all the time. Sometimes it does. But
Sometimes it does.
Not here.
But not diddly squat. This is a perfect example.
Like, you know what we should do, and I think we've talked about this previously. What's your lay of the day?
Yeah.
This horse would be my lay of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Easy.
Absolutely.
And with all due respect to Hot Nash.
Yeah.
But sorry, Nash, you can be as hot as you want. Your horse is no good.
He's pretty hot.
Yeah.
No, I agree. He's absolutely a lay of the day for me. I think Ruination is dual accepted, I'm pretty sure. If he runs here, happy to be with him. I was listening to the Foxcatcher boys and they were talking about Michael Friedman. His Metro strike rate in Sydney is really strong at the moment, but I don't think he's had a Metro winner in Melbourne this season. He had Apocalyptic and Just a Journey on the weekend, both favourites that went down. So if Rural Nation's down in Melbourne, keep an eye out for that. But if he runs here, I'm happy to back him.
Talk some shit about Farnacle, who went down as a $2 favourite behind O'Hope. I thought he was okay. Should get a pretty economical ride here. I hope he's going to get a good ride too. And then Real Nation, I think those three, who are all three the next in the market, I think they'll get the job done over Rivellino. I think the discrepancy in price there is too great.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
So any one of those threes. The Spring Champion, Group 1, 2,000 metres for the 3-year-olds at set weights. Your speed map here, you probably have a couple of roughies going forward, but Shangri-La Boy probably sitting just behind those, if not leading. San Giovanni, officiate, finding position. And then, you have a lot of devoid of speed in this race as well. Shangri-La Boy at 3:30.
Yeah.
Keen on him?
Keen on him last start. Backed him. He got a nice run up front. Won. He gets Nash, so I think he might even kick forward from gate 2. He's had an interesting prep. He's gone 1250, 1400. Then he's jumped straight up to 1800 metres. The way that he put the field away over 1800 metres after jumping up 2 furlongs, I thought was pretty impressive. Who did he beat? Great question, but who's in this race? This is one of those ones where when they finally come together and review the pattern, wouldn't suggest this is of Group 1 quality, but this half brother to Storm Boy, Shangri-La Boy, I think he can win this. Keen on him, and the market's already giving him a little bit of a touch up because he started at a bigger price. He opened at a bigger price. Sorry.
Okay, all right. I think I was pretty taken by Attica. That was a pretty smart win.
It's a good win.
Found trouble. Defeated Real Nation, who's going to be better suited around that mile distance anyway. I think looking at the times, I think that's probably a better lead-up run. And, the Gloaming is a pretty good lead-up run traditionally. But I think the brilliance of Attica, despite the shitty draw, he doesn't have to be so far back. He was last start, but I don't think he needs to be that far back. He sat more forward previously, so I think he can sit about midfield with Adam Hippopotamus, who's in career best.
He's in good form. He also jumped off Shangri-La Boy to jump on Attica. Although I don't know if Nash rode Shangri-La Boy. Oh no, Adam Hieronymus has ridden Shangri-La Boy every start. Jumped off here. That's pretty telling. I think for me, Attica, the reason why I wanted to take him on was I think the race last start set up really nicely for him. It went pretty quick. He came from the back, and I thought from that gate he probably would go back. But he might have a crack on the weekend and roll forward.
Yeah, have a crack. The invitation, I was literally thinking about this, I don't know, sometime over the last few days whenever I'm just like pondering something. I was like, where's Steffi Magnetic at this prep? Because she wasn't too bad first up. She's not a horse that you want to back first up anyway. No. Arguably not second up anyway. But she's the best horse in this race.
Yeah, she is, and she's 750. Steffi Magnetica.
Yeah.
This is actually a handy little race, but she's definitely, I think, the value at 750. I'd be happy to take on Manar. I think
she's in arguably career best.
She is. But for me, if I'm getting 750 about a horse like Steffi Magnetica from a nice gate, and she's had a decent gap between runs.
Against the mares?
Yeah.
Like, is this just too obvious?
Maybe.
Maybe she's underdone. Maybe she's had a bit of a setback that I don't know about. But if the stable are full of confidence, then I've no doubt she's got a great draw. She doesn't have to be so far back as she has been previously. There's going to be genuine tempo here with Gangster Granny and No Diamond Lil going forward as well.
That's what I was thinking, and that suits Steffi.
Yeah.
Because she likes to be smothered. Her best wins have been smothered and then burst through horses, and I think there's a big enough field, enough pace on to generate that.
Yeah, and there's horses to take her into it. There's Miss Rombini, there's Manal.
Yep.
She'll be probably back behind those with maybe like a Monty Supreme, and I think she's a better horse than that. So
with respect,
yeah,
to you, Monty.
Yeah, so I think Steffi's a bet here. I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Miss Rombini fans, she got scratched from, was it the Epsom a few weeks ago? She had an elevated temperature in her blood. So apparently when that happens, they just cannot win. No point running them. So she's had a setback, and you're getting asked to take $4.20. I would be wary. She'll probably go out and win now.
Probably.
And the 5 Diamonds Prelude, your favourite race. 1,500 metres listed, set weights and penalties as well. Last start, 2-rack winner, Transatlantic. Could Tony get the bookends
He
in
could.
Sydney and Melbourne?
He could, Tony.
Wow.
Transatlantic can definitely win this race.
Well,
he's short, but...
Let me have a look at either Dooman or Eagle Farm, because I'm sure he's got one of the last there
probably.
as well.
Probably.
Let's have a look here. Race 10 at Doomben. Surely at the top of the market, Tony.
He typically is.
Yeah, all that pizzazz at 15s. Buckets more on. You could forgive it for one poor run.
Absolutely.
Any opinions in this race or not really?
I think Transatlantic will be hard to beat. But just the way that the race sets up, there's a fair bit of pace. He'll go forward. Rise at Dawn will go forward. Who else will go forward by the looks of it? Le Vampire. So if they overdo it up front, which they might, there's 2 horses at a pretty big price that would need a lot of luck and things to work out nicely for them to win. But Cafe Millennium's in great form.
Career best.
Celine will take him back. He's $12. He'd need to storm home on a track that probably would suit the leaders, so tricky. And then I thought Well Timed ran super last week behind Kurt Gulen.
Yeah.
And he's $46. There was a few drifters who had him in the
He's a good
in the
horse.
tipping comp. Well Timed, like he can pop up in a race like this. So they're the 2 at a bigger price if I was going to be a bit naughty. But also Transatlantic wouldn't shock at all.
Yeah, he's the obvious, right? But Cafe Millennium's the one I found at $12. I think he's a huge price. Obviously needs a stack of luck. I think Rise at Dawn's a really important runner as well, and I think he's in the Crystal Mile at Moonee Valley as well. So,
Yeah, I think so.
bit to unplay here with speed maps and the like as well. But fuck Randwick. Let's get on to Moonee Valley. Let's go Friday night. Which is going to be probably one of the most important races, and you'll have all runners here because the Geelong Cup got abandoned today. So you have the likes of Gilded Water, who's not as well suited in this race as he was at Geelong. Who else was in that race? One Smooth Operator will be going around. Changing the Guard or Post Impressionists were around there. Grand Piero was scratched. So I actually had a stat about this race. So I was talking about the Ultimate Grand Final. This is the ultimate career ender, this race. Because
The Moonee Valley Gold Cup.
listen to the honour list of this race. Akita Sushi ran third in Melbourne Cup, never to be seen again. He's been absolutely dog shit. Cleveland, he hasn't won another race.
I know. I know he hasn't.
Francesco Gardi.
Melbourne Cup favourite for the next year.
Didn't get near it. Luna Flair might have won one after.
Yeah, she would have.
Miami Bound, I doubt it.
Prick of a horse.
Hunting Horn.
Can't remember that horse.
Ventura Storm definitely didn't.
He was a prick of a horse too.
And then Who Shot the Barman? Well, he was just a winning machine. Ran well in Sydney Cups.
Well named horse.
Yeah. So it's a loser's race. So who's the best of the losers here? Is it Gilded Water? That last run gave me the ick a lot.
It did.
Moonee Valley's going to suit better.
I think so. I really like Gilded Water. I think he's a good horse, and that run could have just trimmed him right up, and he could brain these. Honestly, I understand why it spooks you a little bit. So you've got to take a risk, and you're being asked to take sub $3 for him with the good people at net. So I can understand the trepidation. But I think he can definitely win this race, and I'll probably have a bet on him. I'll also have a bet in the forgive file because of that upside down ride that he received last time from weird Dean Yendall.
He is weird, isn't he?
He is weird. I'll always, hey, you can be a weirdo, but I'll always thank you for that Shoals victory in the Empire Rose when she was a 3-year-old filly back in 2017 on Derby Day. Thank you, Dean. I don't think I've found you ever again since.
Ever.
Number 13, Scary, Lockie Niendorf on from gate 8. Like, you know where he's going to be. Probably midfield. But if Gilded Water does go crazy and turns this into a genuine staying test, Scary wants 5,200 metres. He'll finish his career on the jump, Scary. Wouldn't amble. Calling your name, Scary. He wants further. That's how I'm seeing the race.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't think I've ever found this horse before. But as he's a rising 9-year-old, Group 1 winner, Smoking Romans.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
He hasn't been too bad.
He's been racing well.
And I think he's going to, you know where he's going to be. He's going to be either leading at a sedate pace or off the speed of Gilded Water there as well. And at the distance, he's 3 from 4. I think once upon a time, he was, a 2,000 metre horse. I think he's, as again, longer in the tooth.
Longer in the tooth.
And in the hoof.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at those previous winners, I could see him, this is the last race he'll ever win.
You're not wrong. He has been racing well. He's another one of those young Werder-type hybrids. Will pop up in a Group 1. Like, he was in the Underwood. But he's probably more of a benchmark 100 horse, even though he has won a Turnbull, which is just bizarre. And then he started fair with the Corporate Cup and did nothing. He's been racing well enough. He wouldn't completely shock at 950 as he is right now.
Yeah. So I think he's the value in the race for me. All right. Let's go through not runner by runner, but let's have a look at Moonee Valley on the Saturday. So what I did not talk about is the weather. So rain today. That wasn't the reason why the meeting got called off at Geelong, though. It was because of the winds.
Yes.
They had 80 to 100 kilometre per hour gusts, which could actually be in their favour if they needed to dry out a bit. So who knows? But I'm a little bit concerned if it is wet. Cox Plate being race 10 after, 7 or 8 races on Friday night. The rail could be absolutely toxic because the rail's remaining in the true position on Friday and on Saturday.
Yep.
So I'll be monitoring the pattern and switching it up accordingly. But potentially, if it is a bit wet, the rail could be the wrong place to be.
Yeah, and that will come into play significantly in the Cox Plate. So we'll talk about that when we need to.
But race 1, 1,000 metres, open handicap, the Imperatriz Sprint. Good to see that she's got a name raced after her. Thought Tonkin was a nice little start here.
I thought Tonkin was the bet. I thought she's been really good this prep, and she's a distance specialist. She just wants to go fast. She gets a nice draw. So yeah, Tonkin for me. Zachy Lloyd, the throbber on lightweight from a nice draw. Definitely the one. Beast Mode won the night we were at the Valley, but I'm going to just put a line through that meeting. A line. I get it, but this is a significant step up in grade for him. He's $5 Beast Mode, so happy to take him on.
And Tonkin, for me, she seems like a mare who will be really suited to Moonee Valley, where she's been racing well at Sandown and at Flemington, but around a bend, I reckon, because she can wobble around a bit.
Yeah, she can.
So I reckon she'll be suited there. Cannonball finds his third trainer.
So does number 2 Coleman.
Where did he start with Clinton McDonald?
No, he started with Matt Laurie. Matt Laurie to Chris Waller. Oh, for some reason, he was still shit when he went to Chris. And now they're thinking, but if they take him to the third trainer, Clinton McDonald,
Maybe.
maybe that'll turn him around.
Maybe.
Do you know what turning him around? A gelding operation and send him up to Queensland to race in benchmark 60s on a Saturday.
Yeah, in Australian bloodstock silks. Or like Derby racing.
No, yeah, like not even. Like a caliber racing.
High caliber racing.
High caliber racing.
I.e. the second of Portsea silks.
Yeah. What these guys need to understand about this horse is, he was a good 2-year-old.
Yeah. Nearly won a golden slipper.
Great, but
Yeah, but.
that's 2-year-old form.
Yeah. But.
Cannonball, lol. But yeah, keen on Tonkin.
Yeah. So am I. That's a good start. The Red Anchor Stakes. Let's have a look at the previous winners here. The Red Anchor Stakes. So, Bitter Creek won this last year. Tick. Nice tick. Archo Nacho the year before. Tick. Tick. Sajada, I'm sure Josh McClellan was on.
Yeah.
Tick. Generation, not ours.
Yeah, not one of ours.
But Portland Sky, you back before? Tick. Yeah. I thought this was a competitive field. Only 9 runners. Napoleonic is the market favourite. J-Max still hasn't ridden a winner throughout October on a Saturday. So he'll be looking to correct some horrible, horrible wrongs there. I thought he's in with a chance here. He wasn't horrific last start either. Only beaten 2.5 behind Hidden Motive in the Roman Console. But yeah, there's different form lines galore here too.
Yeah,
really difficult to put it together.
There is. I backed Napoleonic last start because it's a big price and it was a big step up for him. And then he comes down to Melbourne from that gate with J-Mac, who's not in great form on. I'd probably be inclined to take him on at $3 because I thought Snow Mercy was probably a decent bet at $5.50. The Point Barrow form. She's been to Moonee Valley before. She's won. I think for a 3-year-old, that's very important. She gets a nice draw. And Lockie Niendorf's been riding pretty well. So at $5.50 as it stands right now, she's probably the bet for me. Snow Mercy, a little filly.
Yeah, I'm favourite bash in the first 2. So the Crockett Stakes, race 3, 1,200 metres, listed for the 3-year-old fillies. Certain Rise won this last year. Tick. Gummy Gumdrops the year prior. Just got there. That's a tick. Wee Nessie. Think she had form around the boys. Went back to the girls' grade. Dream Queen, and La Mexicana prior to that. So, speed map here. Boubion goes forward. Stardom, Pure Passion. But I don't think it's... despite one of these horses being called Quick As... I don't think there's a ton of speed here.
No, I don't think so. I thought this was a little bit tricky. I'm pretty certain I backed Rohesia last start. And I thought she, from a good draw with Ethan Brown on, will get a nice cushy run at $5. So I think she's probably the one I'm leaning towards. I actually watched the debut run of Little Lonhro filly number 10 Proficient. Also with the Hayes Boys Godolphin horse. And she just got there as like $1.80 favourite last start. But she would, I guess, for that experience, improve sharply. You'd think second up, and they're throwing her in the deep end here. So she's got a nice draw as well. Yeah, they're probably the 2 for me, the Hay stable in this race for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to do more form in this race. So the Fillies Classics, 1,600 metres, Group 2 for the Fillies at set weights. Double Market won this last year for Lindsay Park. That's a tick. Skybird the year prior. Zoe's
pretty much that year. Like, odds were that is a tick.
Zoe's Promise. Mokalua. I was a fan of her. Yes, baby, yes. Who knows? Mystic Journey won this.
She was a good filly.
Now, if you go back and actually watch her win in this, you can see how she won an All-Star Mile and Australian Guineas the next year. Unbelievable. Like, she won this from nowhere. I'll get it up after.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, Any word from the inside mail from the stable about Enviable?
Look, she they had her up in Sydney. They were gonna spell her, but she was just bouncing around, and they've got a very, very high opinion of this filly. They think she's more of an autumn filly, but she can come down and win this. Tough draw, and I think she's a girl who probably wants further, therefore needs to pace on, but she can win. She's short enough at $4.40 though. Salty Pearl on the quick backup. Now, if you're looking at that 1,000 guineas run, they went pretty slow again, particularly with Apocalyptic leading, and she's not a natural leader. So I think Salty Pearl running on to finish fourth is a pretty good effort. But then I'm thinking, okay, well, they're on the quick backup here. Is that going to suit? It's pretty short at $2.25. So, I don't know. There's a few question marks there, but there's also question marks about Enviable. So, I don't know. This race has got a little bit of a stinky poo-poo feel to it, to me. But, I'm probably team Sneesby Racing with Enviable, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think Salty Pearl was the one I found, but then I saw the price and went, oh, God. Like, that's awfully short to take. Maybe I'll get more confident closer to race day. The JR8 Cup. So, previous winners of this race, Future History last year, tick. Ain't No Deal done the year before. One of mine, tick. Desert Icon, no. Secret Blaze, no. And Al Galale, nah. So, Middle Earth would be close to your favourite here at $3.60. And he's shown nothing this prep.
No.
For him going back to the 2,040 metres. I think this is obviously they just think that they need a ton of distance in the legs before he goes to a Melbourne Cup.
Look, I think this race more than anything else is to try and iron out some issues that he's got. Apparently, he was throwing his head around the entire race for Mark last start. And Mark's jumped off him. Mark said, I've had enough of this horse, literally. Which, Mark is he's a bit of a bad boy. Mark. So sometimes he can do that. Sometimes he jumps off the wrong horse. Sometimes he jumps off the right one onto the right one. One horse comes to mind called Without a Fight. Jumped off the previous Melbourne Cup winner, Gold Trip. Was like, yeah, I'm going to get out of the casino with you, bruh. And I'm going to get a Cups double. Fair enough. I thought this was the most disgusting race I've ever seen because of that. $3.60 for Middle Earth. Knowing what I know about this horse and the feedback from the weekend, like it wouldn't shock me if he won because that's horse racing, but I couldn't possibly have a bet on him at that price.
Like, if he's not Lather Days, he's in line.
He's in line, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
he's wiping his ass.
Yeah.
He's getting out of the cubicle. Yeah. And we're like, come on, mate. Like, what's going on? Like, you've been in there for a long time.
Yeah. Like, you blew this thing up, mate.
Yeah, but then look at the rest of the race, mate.
Yeah.
Someone's got to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Could Future History go back to back and Mark going on board as well? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. Have the Archibalds had a winner this entire spring? Seriously?
Did they train Serrati? Maybe him? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe they're due for one.
Yeah, Future History will control this out in front, I would have thought. Point King first up's an interesting horse. Hasn't run since the Bart Cummings last year, where he got nutted by Just Fine. Won the Archer prior to that as well, and then I think he might have gone amiss before the Melbourne Cup. So he's probably the best horse in the race. So he could, knowing the stable, he'll be fit, and they're ready to win.
I think he was with Chris Lees as well, pretty sure. So I think it's first run for the Freedmans. Yeah, look, there's got to be question marks after having a year off, but yeah, he's an interesting one. Market, watch the market.
Yeah. The Tessio Stakes. So Lady Jones won this last year, so it was the last. Wishlaw year prior.
Tick.
My Whisper, good horse.
Good horse.
She was probably... That was in the era of Yulong horses. They were named Yulong like January and stuff. But she was My Whisper.
The shittest era of not only Yulong, but horse racing.
Yeah.
Except for, barring one, Yulong Turbo.
Yeah.
He was an enormous horse.
Biggest horse ever.
He was so big.
Massive.
He was a massive horse.
Flying Mascot, Sovereign Award, and Amangiri. I reckon when Amangiri won, it was the last, and it had the biggest roar of the day. 2,040 metres, Group 3 for the mares, open handicap. Speed map here. Dashing Duchess, likely to go forward at a huge price. She's a hustler, probably gets a good run from a slightly sticky draw. And then, some emergencies. The map I'm seeing has good banter going forward, but she's a good back horse as well. I thought this was awfully tough. Blinded by the Light was a smart little winner last start, albeit in benchmark 80 grade.
Yeah, she was a good winner. I found it interesting that she was actually thrown in the deep end because they don't usually really do that at the Mooney's table, do they?
Yeah, probably not.
They work them through. Tough from that gate though for her, but she's a chance. I actually thought She's a Hustler, the favourite, would be hard to beat. Like, she had a great win last start, and she was carrying 60.5 kilos. A little bit of a difficult steer here for Geordie Childs, but Geordie Childs and Graham Begg, their strike rate is 20% when they combine. So I think she can win, but she is short enough. So see what I see. If she wins, I'll be very disappointed, man. Very disappointed.
What about Jenny Lala? Drawn well, Blakey Bill on.
Didn't give her much thought, if I'm being perfectly honest.
There's a few races like that at Moonee Valley. It's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a Derby Day feel.
Crystal Mile, race 7, 1,600 metres, Group 2 at set weights and penalties. Previous winners, plenty of ammo knocked off my guy. What was his name? Royal Champion.
That's right.
Yeah, he looked great.
He did look good.
He was behaving this time.
He looked good.
He looked the winner, and then he didn't win.
No.
Plenty of ammo. Prowess. My Oberon. I think that was his debut run in Australia.
He got whacked that day.
Yeah, Chris Judd in the ownership.
Yep.
Just Folk would have been reigning that year. Homesman.
He was a funny horse. He would have been 10 when he won that.
Yeah. And Chief Ironside, funny horse.
He was a funny horse too.
Yeah. I think that was his only win in Australia. God, I think if Rise at Dawn's here, I think he's a bet. Do think O2 Good is the horse to beat, but she failed badly 2 starts ago. Vetted, no abnormalities as well. Did she potentially just not get around the valley? I thought Rise at Dawn, going to be tactical, go forward. Got mowed down by Waterford, but doubt anything was really beating Waterford that day.
Yeah. I thought Rise at Dawn was probably a bet in this race, if I'm honest, at that price. O2 Good, even though she won really well last start, there are question marks there because of her last start. She does have Damien Lane, who sticks, and she's got the gate 1. But by this stage of the day, like you said, the inside running could be cast, whereas Rise at Dawn, from gate 2, we know where he's going to be. He can just take him out to lanes 3 or 4 anyway. Come off the fence a little bit. I thought he was a bet. The only thing I didn't look at, which I'm looking at now, is his wet deck form, which is phenomenal. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a mini Mr. Brightside, Rise at Dawn.
Yeah, he's like a poor man's Mr. Brightside. Yeah. With respect.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to own a horse like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few, Lindsay Park had a few of those, actually. Like Evaporate.
Good horse.
Rise at Dawn.
Good horse.
Yeah. What's Rise at Dawn one? 2-time listed winner.
Do you know what the Hayes boys are good at, Lindsay Park's good at? I think getting the best out of their horses.
Yes. Well said.
That's what I think they're good at.
Yeah. The McEwen Stakes, 1,200 metres, Group 2, weight for age level. Barrakill, best bet of the day, won this last year. Imperatriz the year prior. Rothy won it the year prior.
No, didn't have him that day.
My guy in the Inferno won the year prior.
You should have got out of the casino with that horse.
Bella Vella.
She's a good horse.
Nature Strip, Chautauqua, Russian Revolution. So
shit.
good. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Group 1 winners from those 8 runners there. And I think another Group 1 winner just goes out, brains these. Best bet of the day, Charmstone.
Yeah, I think Charmstone's a great bet on the weekend. My only concern with her is if it gets too wet, but gee, she was dynamic around the valley last start, mate. She was dynamic, and she put up a figure that she should have gone to the Everest.
Yeah.
Based on that. And look at the race. Look at all the speed. And she's got Tropicus who's going to come across, so she can stalk the she can stalk the leaders, and I think only bad luck gets her beat on the weekend, Charmstone.
Yeah. Threats, Vestus at this distance. I think we saw the best of her first up after she's been pretty dog shit for a long time. So Clint McDonald's got her humming. Good draw for her as well. And Tropicus, obviously. He's probably in career best as well. But I think Charmstone's, she's a class above those.
Yeah.
So
guess who goes in the quaddie? Tiger Shark.
You reckon?
At 27s.
Yeah, true.
Has to.
Yeah.
Has to go on the quaddie.
Yeah. I almost think of her as like a 1,100 metre specialist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the race shape might set it up for her run on. So it's like ding-dong battle. 27s, run over the top of her.
That's the only time. The only time you're happy for the best bet of the day to get rolled is if a $27 pop in a quaddie leg gets up and you have it. You're like, oh fuck.
The Moonee Valley Vars is race 9, Group 2 for the 3-year-olds at set weights. Red Aces last year from Apulia, Barclay Square, Forgot You, Cherry Tortoni, Soul Patch. Soul Patch probably the best of all those. And I think we saw him for a start or two afterwards. Then he got retired. Observer, $1.95.
Too short. Oof. Way too short.
Oof. Especially because he would have got closer, but how much closer? Because I don't think he would have won the race. I think he might have probably run top 2 in the Caulfield Guineas.
Yeah.
That's awfully short. Awfully short.
It is short. What I will say, though, is that I think that Caulfield Guineas, they went pretty quick and it became like a bit of an endurance run, and therefore setting up to 2,000 metres, 2,040 metres, is going to really suit him. So I do understand, and I think they were even talking about paying up for a Cox Plate for this horse. So they clearly think of him very highly. He can definitely win. I'm happy to have a bet on options, though. I was going to bet him I was going to bet on him last week, but he got saved for this race. He's got a dog shit draw, so he'll need a bit of luck. But I think he's a horse with some talent, and at $7.50, happy to have a small bet on him. If Observer wins, so be it.
Yeah. Well, Arcora's going in the quaddie. This horse is going to win a race. I don't know if it's this race or the Derby or, something else. But
like a benchmark 100.
But he was only beaten less than 3 lengths there, running second last. He had zero crack at him, and I think he had plenty to give behind options there. That price differential is far too big. So at nearly 20 to 1 for him, I think he's, from barrier 6, he's just going to be, and I think there's all the speeds drawn near the fence here. I think he can just sit midfield and be on his own and just grind away, get going about from the 600 metres and just, what's under the hood.
And also significant jockey upgrade.
Yeah.
Do you know what I reckon would have happened? I think Trent Buston and Natalie Young would have said to Blakey, hey, look, albeit last 2 runs haven't been fantastic, this thing can win a derby. Do you want to jump on him now?
Yeah. This thing is drifting in the derby as well, by the way. So I think he can get close to $40. Now, it'll go one of 2 ways. They'll back up in the derby, and it'll be like scary odds at a similar price because he'll do nothing here. Or he'll run in the top 3 and you'll have to be forced to take about 10 to 1. I can guarantee and this is a personal guarantee, that this horse will run the 2500 in the Victoria Derby.
Yep.
Which is a good recipe typically. Whether or not he's brilliant enough, you're getting a price to find out. So,
yeah, look, I think, if I'm being honest, like, he's by a Justify and out of a Fastnet Rock dam. So, we've seen the Justifies and the Fastnet Rocks. They can certainly run a distance, absolutely. But what makes them so effective here is the turn of foot, which you need to have in Australian racing. So yeah, whilst Ikora might be looking for further, I still think to win over a distance here, you need to have a little bit of brilliance. So his breeding suggests that he does. Very well bred horse.
All right. The Ned's Cox Plate, 2040 metres, Group 1, weight for age level. We saw Via Sistina absolutely demolish all records last year.
It was phenomenal.
We were watching Romantic Warrior on a boat the year prior.
Tick.
Yeah, one of the best you've ever seen. Animo, the year prior to that.
My guy.
State of Rest, the year prior to that. Tick. I reckon to a T, we predicted the Cox Plate that Sir Dragonette won on this podcast.
We did.
Grand Slam being the pacemaker in the race, running last, and we tipped the top 3. And then Liga Assure, I was telling you this thing can't lose. And then it started about $1.50 on the tote.
We had the Quincy.
Castelvecchio.
He ran super.
Yeah, he did. All right. Runner by runner. Light infantry man. Last 12 months, he's had 3 wins. Unbelievable. I'd say a few of those would probably be in Perth, right? One at Flemington.
Yep.
Probably.
The Aussie Cup, remember?
Oh, yeah? There you go. Good on him. He's been at the track once before. He ran 7th in the Crystal Mile last year, beaten 3.5 lengths. His lead-up runs behind Linda Mann, who's been running some time. He's third up here. What did he do third up last prep? No, he's third up. He's fourth up here. Sorry. So, yeah, can't tell you anything about his fourth up stats. But I don't think he's going well enough.
No, he's not. He's not going well enough. Couldn't possibly have him. I also think if there's any real speed in the race, whilst it suits him, it suits others more. So happy to risk.
Yeah. Antino, Blake Shin on board, barrier 6. Blake Shin's never won a Cox Plate.
No, he went awfully close. I'm glad he didn't win. And I think he himself is probably glad he didn't win on Humidor when he nearly took down Winks. It was incredible.
Yeah. This horse, probably some of the best wet track form in the race, if it does go that way. Beaten 2 lengths, call it, to Sir Delius, who would have a fucking mortgage on this race.
He would, to be fair.
If he was here, because we haven't seen that horse. I think we might have seen him on rain-affected ground once in Australia, Sir Delius.
His first up run, maybe?
Maybe. But I think he would actually improve with some cut out of the ground.
He's a Frankel, so yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Beaten 2 lengths there. He had 59 kilos there as well. Essentially equal weights with Via Sistina, but he meets anyone that he meets from the Turnbull at better weights as well. He was tactically much stronger there as well. Got going. Takes a bit to get into his prep. I think he's very well set up here.
Yeah, I think the setup's really good for Antino. I think that run in the Turnbull was phenomenal, and yeah, he was clearly beaten. And I think he'd find it hard to beat Sir Delius here again. However, there was absolutely no speed to the 800 in the Turnbull, so Blakey said, "Fuck this. I'm going to have a crack on my horse." And he actually started galloping, and that's what really sped up the race and brought the likes of Sir Delius into it. And I think that added some extra merit to his run, and therefore I think it was a much better run than Via Sistina. I also think the sit and sprint race in the Maccabi Diva, the stats show that he had a better last 600 metres than Via Sistina.
So you think he's going better than her?
I think he might be going a bit better than Via Sistina. Antino. I think the key for the race for him was getting a good gate. Tick. He's got it. And I think he'd prefer 6 to him than 2 or 3. Because he wants to peel out. I think he wants to be one off the rail, which is probably where you want to be on the weekend. He likes a wet deck, which suits him more than it suits Via Sistina.
Yeah, he can also win on good tracks
He
too.
can, yeah. Plus, I think for him, because there's no Sodelius, if the same sort of setup happens as the Turnbull, because let's say Globe, who has an injury cloud, doesn't come into this race, there probably isn't that much natural speed. And I think Antino can do what he did in the Turnbull and just catch the napping a little bit. It'll turn into a tactical affair. I think that suits him. But if it's a truly run race, I think he's got a sustained 600-metre, 800-metre run that not a lot of these horses have. So he's a big winning chance for me, Antino, and he's 370. He's a much better price than Via Sistina. I think he's going better. So, yeah, I'll definitely give him a massive winning chance.
Yeah. And I think there's... The next horse that we'll talk about, Attrition, I think has a big role to play.
He does.
He was on the heels somewhat of Linda Mann in the Hill Stakes. Barrier 2, Craig Williams, who's in elite form at the moment. Probably, if Globe does run here, which from what I'm hearing, I think he will.
Yeah.
You find out Thursday morning. I think Attrition has a role to play to bring these other horses into the race. I don't think he's going near enough to win this race, but he's got a role to play here.
Attrition's the perfect horse to bring the others into it because you know he's going to be prominent in the running from that gate. And he's probably going to allow you to come into the race. You just need to get past him.
Yep.
He's a horse who I think Attrition is a talented enough horse to be running in Group 1s, but he's not talented enough to win a Cox Plate, mate.
No.
But he does have a role to play from that gate.
Yep. I thought he would have gone close in Might and Power a few weeks ago.
Yeah, true.
Tactical run affair. Buckaroo. Connections absolutely love this horse. Barrier 4, Mark Zara on. Easily beaten by the likes of Globe and Treasure the Moment in the Might and Power. Prior to that, in the Underwood and in the Memsey, he was super. So you could probably forgive him for one poor run and cut out of the track won't hurt his chances either.
No, I just think there's a few better than Buckaroo.
I agree. Globe, probably the most important runner from a map perspective. Goes forward, will set a tone. Brained Treasure the Moment, Buckaroo, and he's a shocker in the Might and Power last start. Likely to go forward, set a genuine pace. I think it's telling that Blake's jumped off. So, stable said he's a top 5 chance in a 9-horse field. I think that's about right.
Yeah. He'll look the winner because there's no natural speed in this race. And Benny Mellum, he can be crafty. Oh, look, I don't think we've seen many Cox Plates that have been devoid of pace. We've seen some Might and Powers that have been weird and devoid of pace. So I'd be shocked if they just let him have an easy run. He's got his role to play. I think he can hold on for a top 4 position, though, Globe. Wouldn't shock me. If he goes as good as he did last start, if he improves slightly, I could see him being in the first half of the field when he finishes.
Via Sistina, Barrier 5, J-Mac on. We witnessed history last year. It was unbelievable. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. I think I have an opinion where she kind of lacks a length or two on rain-affected ground compared to her being on top of the ground. She's never been outside of the trifecta on good ground. So if the track's playing that way, obvious winning chance. She won a Wink Stakes first up on a heavy 10. Disappointing in the Mackay Diva, but not run to suit her. And she has a bit of an E profile recently, second up as well. Ran home the race fastest last 600 metres of that race. But to your point, I think Antino was the better run in the lead up in the Turnbull.
Yep.
So what do you do with it here?
Oh, if you want to back her at $2.15, she can absolutely win this race. If she has a repeater last year, nothing beats her.
Yeah. I don't think anything on the planet beats her that bad.
Yeah, no. I don't think we'll never get a repeat of that. It's like when Very Elegant won the Melbourne Cup. Like you just don't see shit like that very often. but she can absolutely win. She's got the perfect draw. I just think she needs a truer pace on in the race in order to win. And, I think she'd ideally like a drier deck. So there's a few little question marks over Via Sistina, but I definitely think she's going well enough to win this race, particularly with Sir Delia's out. So yeah, big winning chance. I'm just happy to take her on at that price.
Yep. And I think it's a good point you make, right? So she's had a couple of those style of performances, obviously in the Cox Plate and in the Champion Stakes as well. And Tino's done it 3 or 4 times. Where Doomben Cup last year, he did it in the Hollandale, he did it in the Toorak.
He's got one massive run of prep. He hasn't had one yet this prep.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do it here, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I think that sort of run beats what Via does, apart from her Cox Plate victory last year. So it's it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Treasure the moment, barrier 1. What are your thoughts on that draw?
Shit draw.
Shit draw?
Shit draw gate 1 because of the fact that the rail's in the true for 2 days and if there's rain around. But also, it might actually give Damien Lane a bit of a kick up the guts and say, hey, if this horse is going to be any serious chance, Treasure, you need to be prominent on her, but you need to get off the rail. So they might kick up with her. If Globe's in the race and if Attrition's in the race, I reckon she'll kick up and she'll try and maybe just get off Globe's back or maybe try and get off the fence. But if she's on the fence trapped, two pairs back or something like that, makes it really hard for her. I've got a futures bet on Treasure at a much bigger price than what she is now. I saw at one stage today she was $6. So I reckon someone's gone whack and then she's drifted back out. Based on that Memsey first up run, she was tracking as if she was going to brain him for the rest of the prep. And I think the setbacks just probably put her in a position where she's just a run or 2 behind or a few weeks behind where she needs to be. But she also has had 2 really strange races in the Fian and in the Might and Power. So I'm inclined to forgive Treasure the moment for that. But at the same time, it's like a race like this, the Cox Plate, the grand final, you want to be ticking all the boxes. You want to have the perfect lead up, and she hasn't had that. So there's big question marks there. Would love to see her win. I win if she does. I just think maybe not this year, maybe next year for Treasure.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a fair take. I don't mind the draw for her. Rail has to be playing fair.
Yeah.
If so, I would like to see her race better, racing on a good track. I think that's where she shows her absolute best.
Agreed.
Even though she's undefeated on rain-affected ground. But this is different gravy. Like the opposition that she's been facing in those style of contests, she should really be beating them anyway. So barrier 1, I think she'll... If the rail is playing fair, I think she almost gets the run of the race behind the speed. And she'll have... This is a better setup than her previous 2 runs, where she'll have something to actually tie her into the race. 55.5 kilos as well. Every little bit helps. So I think she's a winning chance. Aliana, Hong Kong Huey flies in.
Hong Kong Huey comes in.
Yeah. He knows how to win a Cox Plate.
Oh, he does. I'm happy to take her on here. If she's a similar price to Treasure, which she is right now, I know which one I'd rather be with. All the talk from Wallow is, she's a bit behind. She's about a month behind the others. Blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff, and umming and ahhing whether she was even going to run. And I think that run in the Turnbull was pretty telling. Maybe she's looking for further. Maybe she's a little bit dour. I'm not sure. Happy to risk her here. Like it's not like she's a $3 favourite, but no.
No. And I think she's one of the better wet trackers in the field, but Antino's a better one.
Yep.
So if it plays that way, know which way my bread is buttered. And then I agree. I think Treasure the moment is the better 4-year-old.
Yep.
In the field in this current setup. Then nepotism. Surely they use that gate with that weight.
Got to use the gate. Zachy Lloyd came out this week and said, My only other ride in a Cox Plate on Militarise, a 3-year-old colt at the time. Things have changed for him significantly. Said rode this horse upside down, which he did. I think he'll learn from his mistakes. He rode, 3 last week at Randwick? Mm-hmm. Zachy Lloyd.
The Zacks had a fill-up.
Yeah. The Zacks did have a fill-up.
They rode
half the card.
Half the card.
Zach Purton and Zach Lloyd. Got to use that gate. I think he's the roughie of the race, Nepotism, because he's a 3-year-old colt, and maybe riding him forward and stoking him up will have a bit of a Seamus Award effect. You know what I mean? That horse was a maiden coming into a Cox Plate. He has shown nothing this prep, Nepotism. But maybe riding him forward will unlock this horse, and he might hold on for a placing. I think at $21, he's probably the roughie that I'd back in the race. Yeah, I'd be a bit surprised if he won from what he's done this prep, but we've seen stranger things happen.
Agreed. Antino on top for me. I actually don't think I've ever tipped this horse, ever.
You might not have.
He's never really been one of mine. I've respected him. He has a fantastic starting price profile a lot of the time, but he's just had the best lead-up runs. Kieran Maher was talking about this horse, and he wasn't even asked about him. Because he's from Queensland. He's staying at his stable. He's
Tony and Kieran are really good mates.
Yeah, so they're... and Kieran has a runner in the race. You know what I mean? So I think he was like, oh, gee, this horse is like prepped up, ready to go for a Cox Plate. Blake just gets on so well. Probably the best jockey-horse partnership that we've seen over the last 18 months, I'd say. In terms of how well Blake...
He unlocks the horse.
Yeah, what he gets out of him.
Yeah.
So Antino on top for me, I think perfect draw. Can basically sit off Via Sestina's hind quarter if he wants. And if the race is devoid of speed, he has the tactical advantage to go forward and go catch me if you can. And he has a sustained run for about 800 metres.
Yeah. Yeah. Antino on top for me as well, for all the reasons you outlined. It's interesting. He's a 7-year-old gelding now, and you just wonder, he was aimed at a Stradbroker only 2 years ago and missed out. So it's crazy how things can happen, and imagine if he was aimed at these middle distance races from the get-go.
Well, mate, he was aimed at a 5 Diamonds 2 years ago. Started about $1.50 favourite, did nothing.
Yeah, true.
So I think he's matured.
He's running matured.
Yeah.
He has. Antino on top for me. Treasure of the moment. Would love it if she won. So I'm happy to see either of them win. I've got a ticket for her at a much bigger price. V is a massive winning chance, and respect to her, she can absolutely win. And I think Nepotism, like I said, is the roughie of the race. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Need to see more out of Nepotism. First top 3, and I'll chuck in Aliana for 4th.
Fair.
Yeah. That's it, though. We plugged everything that we needed to plug at the start.
We did.
So, we're done.
We're done. Probably a bit more analysis to come to find something I'm really, really keen on. But
Charmstone.
Yeah, I think Charmstone's a great bet on the weekend. Yeah, I think we tipped the card again.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. That ain't a joke.
Yeah. All right. See you later, Drifters. We'll be in your ears on Sunday. We'll announce the tipping comp winner on Sunday as well. But cheerio.